16 new motions filed by Casey Anthony's defense team today, covering everything from asking for DNA and fingerprints from George, Cindy, and Lee Anthony to a list of items seized from the Anthony home on the day Kaylee's remains were found, to the unedited crime line phone calls, a meter reader who found Kaylee's remains made back in August. Also today, George and Cindy's lawyer, Brad Conway, met with the state attorney's office and lead investigators to talk about the Kaylee autopsy photos and x-rays. Prosecutors say 22-year-old Casey Anthony murdered her 2-year-old daughter. Holly Bristow live at the Orange County Courthouse. Holly, what was the meeting about?
Well, Mike, as we've heard over the past few days, there's been a lot of back and forth between the state attorney's office and Casey's defense team regarding the x-rays and photos that were taken of the autopsy that the medical examiner did on Kaylee's remains. Today, Brad Conway came in here to talk to the state attorney's office to say, you know what, Cindy and George Anthony agree with you. They do want strict restrictions put on how those photos and x-rays are used before they're handed over to the defense. Anthony's attorney, Brad Conway, was holed up in the state attorney's office. Conway says he needed to talk to Sergeant John Allen and the lead prosecutors in regards to photos and x-rays that are about to be turned over to the defense.
There are a lot of people that would like to profit from selling these photographs. And we're not going to let that happen.
Yesterday, the state attorney's office was supposed to hand those photos and x-rays from Kaylee's autopsy over to the defense. Instead, they filed a motion to stay. The state asked the judge to put a tight restriction on how the defense handles them, and Conway says his clients agree with the state.
Anthony's position is that nobody other than those legally authorized to view these photographs should be able to see these photographs.
The state is asking that only Baez, his co-counsel, and his expert witnesses see the evidence, and that the photos and x-rays cannot be copied or distributed to anyone in any way. Baez filed an objection to the state's motion. Kaylee's remains were found nearly a month ago. Conway says her grandparents need closure.
It's their second hell. Their first hell was the discovery of their little granddaughter and the positive identification of her. This is the worst thing. They want to put her to rest with dignity and respect, and they can't do that.
And they want to make sure that those photos and x-rays do not end up in the wrong hands. Now, tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, Judge Stan Strickland will hear from the state and the defense, and he will ultimately decide if strict restrictions will be put on how those 3 discs of x-rays and photos can be used by the defense. Reporting live at the courthouse, Holly Bristow, Fox at 5.
And tomorrow morning at 11, expect a hearing on whether Casey Anthony will be questioned in connection with a civil lawsuit against her. A woman named Zenaida Fernandez-Gonzalez is suing Casey Anthony, claiming defamation. You might remember that Casey claimed that a woman with the same name was Kaylee's babysitter. Casey said she kidnapped the little girl. Police have cleared this Gonzalez of any wrongdoing. And the case against Casey Anthony will be back in court again next week. A pretrial hearing is set for January 15th.